Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. It's Q&A Tuesday, but this is going to be Q&A Tuesday Conference Edition. So, we have until the beginning of conference. The pre-conference starts on September 14th. I should start out by saying that this is for the AHIMA, the American Health Information Management Association, annual conference that is being held in beautiful Chicago, Illinois this year, home of the American Health Information Management Association. The pre-conference starts on September 14th. That's a Saturday. It is 53 days from today. And the official kickoff, when everybody gets in and they have the welcoming ceremony, that's Sunday, September 15th. It is 54 days from today. And if you're still interested in attending, early bird pricing has been extended until July 26th. So if you want to get in on the early bird pricing, you have till the 26th of July to do it. So that's the groundwork. So I have been like a jackrabbit running around lately, doing a lot of stuff because, I'm already preparing for the trip and everything. And I got my ticket today. I'm excited. Can't you tell? So I got my ticket today. I booked my airline today. The one thing that I am still waiting to do is the hotel. But that's okay. I got that under control. And so I'm doing the planning stages. So these are just going to be some travel tips that I'm going to talk about today too, as far as conference goes. Just so if you are deciding to go, this is sort of what to expect when you're traveling. I have learned in the many years that I have gone to conference that you want to, first of all, travel comfortably, okay? Now, whatever airline you decide to go through, because there's so many different airlines to go through. There's a couple of airlines that I really like and I prefer to go through. Also, where you're flying out of, because if you are like in a small town and you're trying to fly out and to a big city, you have to think about all the connecting flights, okay? If you're taking connecting flights or if you're actually driving, okay? If you are driving to conference, keep in mind parking. This is Chicago, okay? So just keep that in mind. And sometimes, like, to leave your car parked there even when you're staying in a hotel and you rent a car, and you stay, and it's just like, sometimes the fees are just astronomical. It's like not even worth it, because there are things like Uber now, and there's a lot of trolleys. Usually when you go to different areas, like the major cities, they have trolleys and things like that. I'm not really sure about Chicago. I'm sure they do though. I haven't gone through that part of the book, because I did order a travel guide, and that I gotta recommend to you guys too. Whenever if you do ever decide to go to conference, I always recommend reaching out to the Visitors Bureau or like the Chamber of Commerce to get a visitor's guide. And that tells you everything that the city has to offer. Last year, when I went to Miami, it was a lot of fun, okay? And I discovered mojitos. But it was a lot of fun, and because I studied that guide before I went, the Miami Visitors Bureau guide, I found out about the trolley little, it's like a bus, that goes around and, goes around the island, and all you do is just hop on and hop off, and, it's there. So I learned a lot of things that you can do when you were there, and that really helped me to maximize all my time there, because I spent time at the beach and I did not have a lot of photos because I was too busy enjoying the beach. And, I got to walk around and just see all of these sites, and these are sites that are famous, like you see them on TV, and I'm like, wow, So I always like to make sure whenever I go to conference that I check out the area, check out the city. Miami has to be like my most favorite by far, and San Diego and Miami. I have a blast every time I go, but those two, like I did take part in a lot of walking around when I was in those two places in particular. Not to say that I didn't when I went to New Orleans, because I did. I went to 6th Street. Not 6th Street. What am I thinking? 6th Street. Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street. I went to Bourbon Street, not 6th Street. Bourbon Street. And that was a wild time. I mean, but best food, best drinks. It was a lot of fun. But like I said, getting back to traveling, make sure that when you're traveling, you take the appropriate number of days worth of clothing, okay? So if you're going to be like in the conference hall, you want something, you want business casual, okay? I like to always look nice. There's people that, go in jeans, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. But keep in mind, when you are going to conference, you are networking. And a lot of what happens when people see you is they get this first impression of you. And if you want to make a sound impression on somebody, you want to look your very best. And if maybe you don't feel comfortable, doing that, that, oh, I don't want to be all dressed up and everybody else isn't. No, people are dressed up when they go to these things. So I like to make sure I'm always dressed to the nines. So I have an outfit for every day. And then I have, so that's however many days that I'm planning on staying. So I usually take like 6 outfits. And sometimes they're dresses, sometimes they're slacks, and then a mixture of like a blouse and slacks, so it just depends. Shoes I have a hard time with because I do wear cowboy boots. And yes, I'm one of those that dresses up cowboy boots. So like it is not a unusual thing to see me running around in cowboy boots and a dress, okay? Because that's just how I roll. And if you are familiar with my Instagram page for my channel, Medical Coding with Bleu on Instagram, you'll see some of my outfits. I do wear cowboy boots. But and I also like to take the cowboy boots with me because it is unusual sometimes for the area to see somebody running around in cowboy boots. So that's why I always bring my cowboy boots, because I have to have at least one pair with me. So take comfortable shoes. Okay, now, however you may feel about like high heels, okay, ladies, please don't do this to yourself, because I did this to myself. Okay, now I wore a heel like that. Okay, now I'm not a clunky heel girl. I do not like clunky heels. Okay, I like not stiletto, but like a little heel, Don't do it. Whatever you do, make sure that your shoes are comfortable, because you will be walking. Conference are in these huge conference halls, okay? And you are walking for miles and miles and miles. It is not unheard of to do 30,000 steps in a day. Have I done it? Yes. It is not unheard of. So think about that before you go and say, oh, I want to look cute and I want to have on high heels. Sure, you can put on them high heels and look cute, but I'm telling you now, your feet are going to have blisters. They're going to hurt. It's going to make you grouchy, because one thing I do not like having uncomfortable feet, because if my feet hurt, I start getting grouchy, okay? That, and if I haven't eaten, I'm one of those, like I need to eat, and that's just me, so I like very comfortable high heels, but I have the kitten heels. I use the Lifestride. I like Lifestride shoes, and they have very cute shoes. You can see them on my Instagram page. That and my cowboy boots, and I will wear flats. Okay, take Band-Aids with you, okay? If you're not used to walking around in shoes and like dress shoes and you get blisters, it's always good to have Band-Aids with you, okay? So make sure that you pack just what you need. Pack the appropriate amount of shoes. I usually take about 4 pairs of shoes with me. So like 2 dress shoes, my cowboy boots, and slippers, or like flip-flops, some things that I can just walk around in. Oh, and a pair of tennis shoes. So actually 5. Don't forget if you're taking I really wouldn't recommend bringing like a hair dryer, because they usually have hair dryers in the hotel, and if you're gonna take your flat iron or whatever, then yeah, sure, go ahead and do that. But just keep those things in mind. I like to pick hotels that they offer free breakfast because, like, the less money that I have to spend, the better. Okay. Although at conference they are constantly feeding you. Okay. They have food all the time. Like, I rarely have to pay for meals when I go to conference because somebody always has food. So that's something else to keep in mind. I like that. But you have to keep your energy up because a lot of times you are walking and walking and walking, so just that's something to keep in mind. See, packing is like the biggest thing. I try to keep my bags down to 2 bags. And what I do is I fit everything like in one suitcase, and then I will have another suitcase that doesn't have a lot of things in it because when you come back from conference, you usually get the swag, or you'll get, you'll be shopping for souvenirs and things like that. I like to leave room in my bag for that. So I don't go with 2 big stuffed bags, I've seen people do this where they arrive and they're there for conference, and you see them with all their bags and they look at so heavy and they've got on these high heels, and I'm like, no, 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 just be comfortable, You'll be able to have a lot more energy. That's number one. You'll be able to focus a lot better if you are comfortable. So just make sure that you're comfortable. Dress in light layers. If you are one of those ones that gets cold, I always bring like a little sweater with me sometimes, like a very thin one, because I do tend to get hot sometimes, but with some of those conference rooms, it does get cold. So if you have a small lightweight jacket, it's good to bring that with you too, because it does get cold sometimes. There's always plenty of coffee, so don't worry. But yeah, so there's some of those things. And yeah, that's, on the packing part. And when you are flying, always look for the best deals when you're flying and when you're staying in a hotel. Try to get the best deal that you can. They do have shuttles, but I never know what the shuttles routes are until I get to conference. Then they say, well, we have this shuttle, this shuttle, this shuttle. Like, they usually have like a few shuttles. And trying to sneeze again. I'm telling y'all, I'm sorry with the sneezing. Okay. So usually they have a set of shuttles outside the conference hall, and it'll be like they'll have like a whole list of all the hotels that this shuttle goes to, or this shuttle, and it may not be as close as dropping you off like right at your door, but it'll be in the vicinity of. I've always tried to look at the map and look at the conference hall and see how close they are. I try not to stay more than a couple of miles. I try to stay within like a mile and a half, maybe a mile or so of the conference hall. If I can get less than that, it's really good. But this is just so that if I need to walk, I can, That's always an option. Of course, there's always Uber now. Uber is really good for... I've only used Uber. I'm sure Lyft is great as well, but I've never used Lyft. But it is a cheap way to get around, so that's another option for you. But it is so much fun to go to these things. You meet so many people, and I am very excited because I know one of my friends is going to be there. I'm so excited to see her, and I haven't seen her in a couple of years, so I'm really excited. And you see a lot of people that from other facilities that you've worked at, or just by word of mouth, or people that you've met previously on other conferences. You always seem to run into each other, and it is funny to run into vendors that you've seen at other conferences too. So it's like a big old reunion. But as time gets closer, I will talk more about what I'm going to be doing, as far as like if I'm going to try to see like specific sites or whatever. I will be filming when I'm there, so that way don't worry, I won't skip out on any episodes. I probably won't do like Quiz Friday or Q&A Tuesday, because those tend to take preparation. Okay, so I won't be doing those that week, but it'll just be me more talking and letting you guys know what's going on. So I'm excited. I've been running around all day with this goofy grin because I'm excited about my trip. So but yeah, that's been pretty much like what's been going on lately. I always do a lot of research when it comes to traveling, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the best deal. So that's what I've been doing this last couple of days, is making sure that I'm getting the best deal. I'm getting the best rate for everything, because everything is, you can find good rates as long as you're doing your research, and if you do it at the right time, that's what is leads to a successful trip, I think. So yes, don't bring a lot of kerfuffle, okay, because you're going to get a lot of things when you go to conference, okay? So whether you get swag or whether you're getting souvenirs, don't bring a lot of kerfuffle if you don't have to. Just bring what you need, and some people will bring like one pair of slacks or a couple pairs of slacks, and then just like a couple of different blouses to go with it, and that's totally cool too. So my phone is gonna die, and I don't want to lose this episode. So but yes, I'm gonna go ahead and close up this video. But if you have any questions about conference, let me know. I will be shooting a few other videos this week because I've been getting requests, and I am going to honor those, so don't worry. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on, and it just takes a lot of time. When I'm doing research like that, it just takes a little bit more time than I thought. So again, guys, sorry, but don't worry, I'm still here, and thank you guys so much. I have gotten a bunch of new subscribers lately. I can't thank you guys enough. It gets me so motivated to do more videos whenever I see that ping, and it says a new subscriber, and I'm like, yes. So anyway, thank you guys. And for the guys that have been with me from the very beginning, thank you guys so much, because this means a lot to me. And I'm glad I can share my experiences with you guys, and hopefully help you if you have any questions. So all right, well, I will see y'all on tomorrow's episode. And if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. All right, well, I will see y'all on the next episode. Bye!